Hold on. Déjame ponerme una cortina aquí. So we can have a semi-private conversation, you know? Oh, I took the comments off. You guys can't say anything. I forgot that I did that. Bendiciones. Let me tell you something. I was trying to avoid this conversation like I don't even know. I was like, do I even need to talk about it? Do I have to talk about it? But I realized that now that I've put my life out on social media, I can't really get upset when people are trying to find out what's been going on since they last saw me, let up with me, spoke to me. And I have all these old, like these videos that I've pre-recorded while I was in the Airbnb. And I want to release them, but I realized that if I was to release them, with everything that's been going on since I have still been active on Instagram, then it's going to cause this big confusion, and it's just not going to be beneficial to what I have planned coming up for this platform and Meesheexdiamond. So I know that in order to have a smooth transition into something new, something fresh, and incorporating what worked for my channel, what I enjoy, but also bringing in a breath of fresh air, a new energy, a new like positive direction. I know that I need for everybody to be on the same platform, on the same sort of clarity as to the direction of my channel and where I'm going and the direction of my life. If you guys are truly interested in how I'm doing, then I need you guys to see that I've made growth and I've progressed in ways that cause me to have a lot of serious conversations with myself. So I guess to pull off the band-aid, obviously I am living in the truck. Today is day 2. I had to delete the Instagram video, the hashtag Meesheexblessedwater on Instagram. I had to delete it 3 times because I was just like, I got so overwhelmed with like the questions, and I realized that as I kept on avoiding it, it made people more and more inquisitive. And I clearly made a choice, after all that I've been through with this platform, I clearly made a choice to pull back and to be more private and reserved with what I have going on, just for my safety and learning from, prior experiences, all that has happened. I have pulled back a lot from you guys. I have kept a lot of these things on like just on a own personal, and I haven't been sharing it open and publicly because of that. And I don't know. You know what's hard for me? It's hard being anything other than me. And people, I guess, I don't know how to run my platform any other way than just being real, open, honest, and me. That's just how I've always done it. I've never held back. I never shied away from a hard situation. I've always been open, transparent, and I've given it all, And now that I've reeled it back and I'm pulling back, I almost feel like I hate that I feel like I'm having to restrain myself to fit in a sort of conformity. Something that is more user-friendly, cookie cutter, that is maybe apologetically me instead of unapologetic. So with that being said, let's go ahead and address the truck issue. Now, when I first moved to Los Angeles, it was off of somebody, a person, an individual that helped me and financed my first month here. And That first month of, I still feel like it's the first month, but that first month was very, I don't know where it went. It just went so quickly, and I was getting still adjusted to California and trying to, you know, catch my ground here. And it was a lot to sort of take in. And when things didn't progress as quickly as I thought they would, I thought that I was going to come to California. I was going to go to the LGBTQ center. I would have been on hormones by now. I would have seen a doctor. I would have gotten on food stamps. I would have had probably like some shelter situation. I thought that I was going to be in better footing by now. And when that didn't happen that first month, I had some money set aside. So I continued on with the original person that that was booked initially with the Airbnb. In the midst of all that, the owner of the Airbnb, in the middle of the first month living, there, moved into her new home. And you guys saw a bit of that transition. And I was going to continue on the next months with her out of my pocket. So that's exactly what I did. I extended it another month to give myself a chance to be able to, still look for a job, try to get my tax changed over, try to get all my paperwork situated, hopefully see a doctor by now, and do all of that and continue on. So in the midst of all that, I'm also trying to find a permanent place to live that I can afford, right? Realistically speaking, I was planning on a whole revamp of my YouTube channel. I was going to do, and I still am, I have a whole bunch of pre-recorded videos. I got 2 mukbangs. I have a cooking. I have an unboxing. I have so many videos that I have just sitting on my phone that I wanted to release. But my greatest fear was releasing that and then still people trying to, to this day, there's still people asking about the camper. And I just I felt like I was being creatively stagnated by my life and the situations that I have going on, because it's like people were so used to me being the camper girl that when the camper was no longer, people are like, well, you're no longer the camper girl, so we don't want to hear about this and that and this and that and this and that. And I'm a jack of all trades. I've given y'all cooking, I've given y'all story times, I've given y'all comedy, I've given y'all, reality, I've given y'all the soap opera with the muñecas and all of that. I've given y'all so much variety, makeup, commentary, all of that. I've given it to you all. And I felt like no matter what I was doing that I was finding fun, it still wasn't enough, because it was just like, but wait, you're the camper girl. Like, what happened? And it felt like this like, I literally feel like the camper's still on the truck, like rotting. Rotting on me. And I wanted to move past that. I have moved past that. And with that being said, I felt like, because I've been so open and honest and bared it all here on social media, I felt like people, certain individuals in the House of Realness or that followed me, felt like I owed them an explanation of everything. And I was struggling with this, like, I guess, guilt. I'm like, well, they say they donated and, this is how I've been surviving. If it wasn't for that, then, so I do got to tell them, I do owe them this. I do owe them that. I do owe them this. And I was trying to please everybody. And then it felt like every single time I was coming on camera, I was just defending something or explaining myself. And it was becoming exhausting. I'm like, yo, I have no time to post anything else other than talking about problems that I already know that I have. And all I'm doing is just talking about it all the time. And it was frustrating to me, because in the beginning, when everything was good, and this is what I talk about, fake love. People only want you when you're doing good. Because when I was doing good in the camper and I was building shit, it was Team Mishi. It was like, yes, espérate, that's my bitch coming back with some camper, shit. And oh my God, look at the wallpaper. Oh my God, do this. Oh my God, do that. And everybody was showing nothing but love. The lives back in the day, they hit different. They were all full of love, encouragement, and impactfulness. And lately, everything has just gotten so misconstrued. It's gone such to an ugly negative path. And I was just like, what's happening now? Like, where is the love? Honestly, I feel like if anything, I've gone on this massive, massive life journey, coming to terms with what I had allowed my life to become, breaking free from that, and not knowing that breaking free from that and going on this journey of throwing myself in the world with just a hope and a dream, what that would have brought me. Okay. In the midst of all this, even through all the bad, the hackers, having to leave 2 different states because of my safety, I'm like, wow, I've learned so much. So I felt like people were getting everything misconstrued, because you guys only see what I show you, what I decide to show you. When I come on camera, I speak about whatever I decide to speak about and what's on my mind. But it seemed like, how do I say this? Because I lost my train of thought because I was going in. It's probably not important. You see, that's the thing. I just feel like I'm so past this. Like, oh, okay. I felt like people kept on telling me things that as if I wasn't already doing them. Like, girl, did you apply for welfare? I sure did. Girl, did you apply for food stamps? I sure did. Girl, did you call back the LGBTQ center that you went to see about the waiting list? I sure did. Hey, girl, did you reach out to True Colors, Cindy Loppard? She has an organization. Yes. Did you reach out to Lady Gaga's organization? Yes, I did. Did you reach out to any other organizations that are LGBT specific, especially with the trans community? Did you hit them up? And did you also try San Francisco? Yes, I did. Okay, well, do you call them every single day? Yes, I do. And it seems like everybody was like basically telling me these things that I already was doing and that I already know and that I'm doing, but it just wasn't enough. Because I wasn't showing everybody every single step. Like, I mean, a lot of this recording I'm doing on my phone. So if I'm making phone calls, how am I going to record myself making phone calls to these organizations, putting it on speaker? It's like, make it make sense. If I'm doing research on organizations, how can I record that? And why? I understand the severity of my situation more than anybody else because I'm actually living in it. I'm actually in this truck. This is my actual reality. And I understand that. I've not come to terms with it. I don't want there to be this sort of perception like, oh, she's given up. She's just going to live in her truck. This is not ideal. This is not how I want my life to be in any way, shape, or form. And it is not going to be this way for long. I promise you that. I promise myself that. I don't promise anybody else that. I promise myself that. But reality is, I came to a state during the midst of a pandemic because I think that people just have this perception that COVID doesn't exist because we're tired of it. I'm here to tell you that no matter how tired you are of COVID, it is still a thing. It is still happening. And even though everybody is so eager to get back to their normal lives, normality as we knew it is no longer the reality. We are now having to adjust to the new norm. Okay? And the media, you know what? The media doesn't paint the full picture. Okay? The media doesn't paint the full picture. Has the media talked about the the people that are in Skid Row, homeless? They have no mask, no nothing, no way to survive this pandemic with even and fair playing grounds? No. Nobody talks about that. Like, come on now. Come on now. You know what's so crazy? You know what's absolutely mind-boggling to me? You know what? I'm not going to even go down that route. But it's just like we're in the midst of a pandemic and I'm trying to find a job. Not trying, I'm looking. And I felt like, okay, I'm trying to get into a room, a rented room. Everywhere you go here, because of the pandemic, because of COVID, a lot of renters are weary renting to new renters because they know that if somebody gets into this apartment, loses their job because of COVID or another lockdown, that they legally cannot evict them. So these renters are trying to ensure their investment. Everything is a business. They do not care about your life story. They don't care if I'm living in my truck every single night. All they care about is that they want bank statements. They want W-2s. They want 3 times the amount of what they're charging for you to make a month. And if you don't have those qualifications, thank you, next. They don't care about your story. They don't care. They don't want to hear your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. They don't want to hear none of that. I mean, honestly, that's the truth. It's hard to hear, but nobody cares about what the hell you have going on in your life. They don't care if you just lost somebody. They don't care if you just lost your job. They don't care if you're sleeping on the park. All they care about is if you can pay what they want you to pay and you have a way to prove that you can pay it. And that's it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I mean, that's the way the system in place has created us to be. And nobody cares. And you want to know what's the prime example of the manifestation of nobody caring and being detached to human suffering and people's life experiences? How many times do we walk past somebody homeless and not think a second thought? Like, oh, there's a lot of homeless here. Oh, yeah, the homeless sleep here. How many times do we see somebody passed out on the floor and then we're like, they're probably on drugs? So because they might be on drugs, that doesn't mean that there isn't a human being on the floor passed out. I mean, and so the odds are not in my favor. And I'm not oblivious nor naive. I can sit in front of camera all day and give you hashtag Meeshe's blessed water. I can manifest abundance with you every single morning, and I have. But I don't want y'all to confuse me preparing and manifesting my future to being oblivious to what's going on in my reality right now, because I am fully aware of it. I'm completely fully aware of it. And I felt like because people were donating to me and helping me and everybody was giving me suggestions and I shared my life on this social platform and now we're on this journey, I felt like every single time I didn't bring results, every single time I didn't land a job, every single time I went to a job interview. This is why I didn't tell y'all about job interviews that I was going to, because when I didn't come back with the job or they didn't call me, it was like I was letting you guys down. It's like you guys were cheering me on, cheering me on, cheering me on. And then y'all like, I don't bring the end result that y'all might have wanted for me, that I wanted for myself. And then it was like, well, are you trying hard enough? And it's like, damn, like, what am I to do? And I felt like people were just getting tired of me. And, it's funny because I was in a situation here in California, and I'm not going to really speak on who it was, but I got mean girled. When that scene in Mean Girls, I met up with somebody who I was trying to get acquainted with. I was getting acquainted with here. Was hanging out with that person. That person called their friend. The friend didn't know that she was on speaker. So she's like, yeah, I'm with my friend right now, the one I was telling you about, the YouTube channel. And she was like, who? Yeah, the one with the camper. She was like, oh, the one that complains a lot. And she was like, no, she just, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I see what's up. And it's like, but I couldn't get mad because honestly, if you looked at my DMs, mad people talk shit about me. Mad people are like, yo, I'm not surprised that you winded up being in the truck again. Like, I saw that coming. You thought that you was some big shot. You thought that you were going to go to Hollywood and shit was going to pop off in the middle of a pandemic. Like, you must be, nobody cares about your dreams. Nobody cares about anything like that. You ain't going to make it. If you saw the amount of DMs that now that people know I'm living in my truck have given me the most disgusting, heinous, hurtful shit. Like, and I'm sorry to curse, but it is what it is. This is exactly why I didn't want to tell anybody what was going on. My full intention was to post all these videos that I pre-recorded, and you guys would have been none the wiser the whole entire time that I was living in the truck. That was my plan, but it didn't work out that way. And now that it's out there in the open, I felt like there was no way to talk about it because I knew that it was gonna be well, like, did you try this job? Did you try that job? And I'm like, yeah, I did, but it's not easy. I haven't changed my ID to California. I have no residency. I have no help from any shelters, no help from any organizations. I keep knocking, asking for help. Nobody's helping. And now I'm coming to the realization that, look, baby, you thought that you were coming to a state that offered help for trans individuals because there's protection and there's more visibility for trans individuals here in California. Well, you know what? Even though that may be so, baby, you are on your own. And a lot of us are on our own here, especially now with the pandemic. And that's just the harsh truth that I have to sit in. I have to realize, okay, Michelle, if you keep calling and no organizations have anything open, they're not calling you back, there's no help, everything's slowing down because of COVID, everything's taking longer, then what can you do? All right, you're calling, looking for jobs, doing Zoom job interviews, asking you your job history, asking you for an address, all of this crap. You don't got any of these things. And I'm just like, okay. So, you start to get discouraged. You start to get absolutely discouraged. And when I was trying to get into a rented room, the little bit of chavito, the little bit of money I was making on YouTube with the videos. One video, I made $33 on one video, like one of my most popular videos, right? Another video, I made $18. Another video, I made $13, right? I'm looking at these little intervals and they're like, okay, well, show me something that you're making money and you have money coming in on a monthly. I'm showing them the sad little numbers on YouTube from the money that I'm making on YouTube. And I'm like, damn, and then I get discouraged because as I'm doing research on, YouTube and the algorithm and all this shit for the relaunch, I'm looking at how much these YouTubers make that have like the same amount of numbers like me, right? But the only difference is they have higher views than me. So when they break down how much money they make on YouTube, there's one YouTuber, he has 16,000 followers, right? He has 16,275 followers. And he gets a consistent views of 10,000. He broke down his check on YouTube and he comes home with at least I think it was 7,000 something. And I'm like, yo, that's a decent amount. That's something that could get me on in an apartment, But I felt like, how would I ever get to those numbers if I don't improve the video quality, if I don't do the transitions that YouTube like, if I don't, do the studio lighting and increase everything in the production, and trying to find a way to increase the production because I'm like, okay, I've been looking for a job, still haven't found one yet. But YouTube is generating some change. I see a lot of other people making a livable wage on YouTube, not even with some extreme numbers like James Charles and have millions of followers, just with thousands of followers, they're able to, live comfortably and then start businesses. So I'm trying to do my research and figure out, okay, instead of me focusing on having been able to find a job, I'm making a little chump change on YouTube. Let me go ahead and try to figure out a way with my iPhone, with the little bit of lighting I have, with what I have already here, and try to increase the production value so that it can reach a new audience, and then maybe my channel could grow and I can actually get those numbers, And I felt like every time I was asking for likes, subscribe, views, all of this, people were just getting tired of it. They're like, I don't want to help you. I don't want to help your channel grow. I don't care about that. Like, like you begging, you asking for too much. So it was like, okay, people feel like I don't want to get a job because I'm trying to make YouTube happen. And I'm looking at it like this. Until I get a second job, I'm making a little chavito on YouTube. So if this is what I have coming in on a monthly income that's paper trails to give to an apartment, then, think about it. I start a new job. They're still going to want pay stubs. I still got to give them a couple of weeks of pay stubs. So why not try to get my money up on YouTube so that when I get a second job, it's just gravy on top of it so that I have more of an opportunity to get into an apartment, to be able to fully actually sustain myself, I've already put myself out there on YouTube. I mean, what was the whole point of asking the House of Realness to rally up my numbers? I mean, we celebrated me getting monetized. Remember when I was disappointed about the camper, and then I was like, guys, look, when there's a down, there's a up. I just got monetized on YouTube. I still have the screenshot. I still have the first video. I still remember the first live that I was able to go live on YouTube. Like, I mean, I've made so many milestones, and I have so many more to still make. And I guess because I don't talk about the struggle and the day-to-day stuff, it seems like people were like, why are you avoiding it? And it's not that I'm avoiding it. It's just that I'm trying to set myself up in the best way. In the best way. If I'm going to put myself on YouTube and I'm already monetized, then why not try to now make this something that can really produce an income? Because you guys do it all the time, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. Every time you go on a social media platform and you like somebody's thing or you give them a heart, you're generating revenue for them. How do you think that the James Charles and all these people that have all these YouTube followers got there? They got there with the support from their following. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know why people don't see what I do as a job. Because I sit on camera and I how many people can sit on camera and just talk on camera? The story times and just, I don't have no fancy equipment like these other YouTubers. I don't have somebody editing my video with like perfect transitionals and catchy tunes and decent intros and shit like that. I don't have none of that. I don't have any of the bells and whistles. I don't have any of the extra fluff that all these other YouTubers have. I'm giving you completely raw, one-woman show, me, every single time. Unedited, unfiltered. Is that not talent? Is that not talent? And if it is talent, then why is it not okay for me to say, hey, support me, support my talent? I don't ask for much and it's free. So I guess in a long story short, because I need to get off my preaching box, the Airbnb cost too much money. It was $1,200. $1,200 for this area in the midst of her doing renovations. I thought that was way too much. I'm not generating big dollars on YouTube yet, and I'm still looking for employment every single day, I promise you. So with that being said, the little bit of money I have left over, the truck is having issues, right? So any purchase that I make, I'm taking out of a bank, a plot of money that the well is not being filled. Okay? Imagine there's a well of water, it has this amount of water, and there's a slow drip. The little bit of change that I make on YouTube on all my videos, that's the slow drip. So if I continue to shovel out big scoops of water from the well, when I'm only getting little driplets filling up that well, then sooner than later, I'm going to dry out that well and I'm not going to have enough water to replenish it. That is the best example I can give you. So I am looking at a survival point, a point of view. I have this well of water and I have to be strategic with how I drink it, where I drink it, and what I'm doing with this water. Okay? So because of that, I have to factor in if anything happens to my truck. If maybe one day I have my truck parked and I'm going to a job interview and I get a parking ticket, I got to pay that because I have a parking ticket that I have to pay. All these little things, gas, food, drinking water. Now I got to get a gym membership to take a shower. All of these things cost money. And with the slow drip that's dripping in, I have to be strategic with it. I really do have to be strategic with it. So that's why I made the decision, instead of using a massive chunk of money to get another Airbnb or to get into a hotel for another month without the certainty of me, knowing I'm going to get a job, I couldn't take that risk of wasting that big chunk of money. I can't take that risk. It's not smart. It's not smart. Some people would challenge that sleeping in the truck is not smart, but sleeping in the truck is not costing me any money. So I don't have to pull any money for that. So that's why. That's why I'm living in the truck. Everything that I was trying to find is too expensive. When I was trying to get into a rented room, the only sort of income I could show them was the income I was making on YouTube, and it wasn't enough money. It wasn't enough money. They laughed at me. I mean, my highest grossing video is $33. They laughed at me. There was no way to show paper trail that I could give them, that I could make that money. So I've also been struggling with doing OnlyFans, and I joke about it all the time, but it's really to that point where a bitch got to make a coin. Like, she got to make a coin because I don't want to be in this camper. So if I got to shake my little patelito on OnlyFans, I mean, there's bitches out there that, have homes now because of it. But I want y'all to know that I understand my situation, and I understand that I am still seeking secondary employment. And I have a lot of upcoming videos structured on a plan. I have cooking Sundays. I have story times. I'm going to put everything on a schedule. And I hope that in the relaunch, when I see y'all with my first video that I'm going to launch after this one, because I haven't been posting because I wanted the relaunch to be like this big thing, I wanted to do previews and tease it and all of these things that I know is going to help, is basically what YouTube is telling me to do, that's going to help my channel. And I'm doing all of these things, and I'm sitting on all these videos, but I knew that if I would have just went ahead with the relaunch, that it was still going to create confusion, and I didn't want that confusion happening when new members join the family, because new members are just going to be watching me off of the new videos. And I want them to formulate their own opinion about me based on that. And then if they so happen to go back and watch the old videos, I want them to be like, wow, Look at, yo, I first found her from this video, but yo, she's been through it, and now I even love her more. Instead of people in the comments, they were like, camper? What? Da-da-da. And they get all confused, you know? So there's no conspiracy, there's no bad blood, there's no nothing. I'm not oblivious, I'm not unaware of what's going on. I'm still working hard. I'm still, you know, putting my best foot forward, breathing, thriving, being appreciative, being grateful, and attracting nothing but abundance and positivity in my life. And with that being said, I hope that in this moment forward, we can just move on in a more positive light. I know everything already. I'm living, breathing, and sleeping in it. But I can't allow that to be the anchor that weighs me down, because how am I going to get to the top if I'm still being held, tethered to worldly problems? Problems will always be there no matter how far in life you get. Problems will always be there. If you allow them to be the anchor that keeps you down, it will stagnate you. And I can no longer allow any worldly problems to stagnate me, to stunt me, to stop my inner bad bitch. And for a lot of us, we allow our problems to become the anchors that keep us imprisoned in situations that do not serve our higher purpose. How many times do we sit here and say, well, you know, it's just my family, you know, it's my family, and yeah, I don't like the way, you know, she speaks to me, and yeah, I don't feel good, but like, you know, it's just tough love. No, it's not tough love. It's hurtful. And you don't have to put up with that. And you don't have to accept that in your life. You don't have to allow bad behavior and situations that you can't control based off of other people's situations to keep you down. Like, no, that's it. Like, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch, whether I'm in a fucking trailer. Ooh, I cursed. Whether I'm in a trailer, whether I'm in the truck, whether I'm in a freaking $5 million mansion. I'm gonna walk down these streets every single maldita dia like I'm the baddest bitch here, and somebody's gonna watch me walking, and they're gonna be like, who is this bad bitch walking like she's on some fucking runway? I need to know who she is. And they're gonna want to get to know me, and that's the thing that's going to propel me to the top. And that's on period. So with that being said, I hope that I have answered all your questions. If I haven't, I'm sorry. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward. And it's time to let go of worldly problems. We are growing. We're growing. We're glowing up. We're stepping up our inner bad bitch, and we're moving forward. Period. So this is not how I wanted to come back on YouTube, but now that I've ripped the Band-Aid, I could finally get rid of this creative blockage, because I've been doubting every single thing. And prepárate, because the House of Realness drama is coming back on a new channel, all right? On a new channel. I do not care what you have to say anymore. I will be recording and continuing all the drama in the House of Realness. So if you have been curious as to what Fireman John has been up to, what happened last time, do y'all remember what happened last time? I don't know if y'all do, so y'all better go rewatch those videos. I think I might put them in a playlist, the House of Realness playlist. But it's going to be back on a new channel, Meesheexdiamond. Okay, so if you haven't added me over there, you better add me over there, because I will be doing that solely over there. And hopefully the people that are waiting for it, that are into it, are going to gravitate over there. And the people that don't want to, then they can still stay here on Totally Transparent, and they could be like, yeah, I'm not really into the dolls. I'm going to just stick with it right here. And I'm going to be like, all right, say less, girl. We having a blast over there. You missing out. So, I love you guys for watching, and let's go ahead and manifest my little bougie water, my little Perrier water. This water, I feel like the manifestation is going to work better because it has bubbles, so there's a lot of activity in the water. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being alive, present, living, thriving, healthy, radiant individual and human being that I am today. And that being said, baby, we are manifesting miracles. I always experience miracles in my life. I am magical. I am impactful. I am purposeful. I am abundant. I am successful. And I am talented. And my YouTube, prepárate, because I'm going to go to bed one day and I'm going to wake up and they're going to be like, oh my God, Mishi. Oh my God, how you got 33 million subscribers? How did that happen? And I'm going to be like, you lying. Stop. Why is you lying? Don't. If I go on my YouTube and I see that there's only like 16,000, I'm going to be tight. And then I go on YouTube and I'm going to be like, oh my God. And then I'm going to go live and I'm going to be like, oh my God, girl, I got 33 million subscribers. Can y'all freaking believe that? Who blew me up? And then I see an article about me on TMZ or something like that, where it's like, I don't know, a whole bunch of crap is going to happen. Not crap, but a whole bunch of like blessings is going to happen. And I'm going to be like, and I'm going to be surprised. That's the best part of it. I can't wait to see my own reactions because all of these blessings are going to come as a surprise and they're just going to keep coming like back to back to back. It's going to be like a chain reaction. That's what I call a chain reaction. See, money ain't a thing. What song is that? I see my don't dance to pull up a pants and do the rock away. So lean back, lean back, lean back. Lean back. Oh, yes, it is that song. All right, whatever. But it's going to be like a chain reaction. Like Remy Ma. It's going to be like boom, 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 boom. And then I'm going to be everywhere. And then I'm going to be on a billboard. And then people are going to be like, yo, like a complete Lizzo situation. They're going to be like how they did Lizzo. It seems like you just came out of nowhere. And she's like, I came out of nowhere? No, y'all just caught up to me. I've been out here, baby. I've been out here. Espérate. Don't try to diminish my accolades. Uh-huh. That's my period. And it's going to be amazing. So let me drink my little bougie water. Ew, look. I have 169 people and 169 likes. Yo, I love y'all for that. I love y'all. This is the first time I've seen my numbers be even on a live. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. Ooh. That's expensive. Oh my God. You know what sparkling water I want to taste? Is expensive. It's the sparkling water. It's green with a white, I think it's San Pellegrino, and it's in a glass bottle, a big one. I want to, oh my God. Imagine going to a restaurant con un hombre que tiene dinero. You know when you at a restaurant, this is the type of restaurant I want to go to. I want to go to a restaurant that got a cloth tablecloth. I wanted to have a cloth paper tablecloth. I wanted to have candles. I wanted to where the waiter pulls out your chair or the partner or the man that I'm with pulls out my chair for me. I wanted to have a dress code. And on top of that, I want there to be only bottled water. You know when you're in a really expensive restaurant, when they don't give you tap water, the water that they have is bottled. So you have to order bottled water. And then I want to order one of those big bottles of San Pellegrino waters and have them pour it and like ask for like a lime wedge to be bougie. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, and I want to eat seafood. That's what I want to eat. I want to eat king crab legs. I want to eat pan-seared scallops with like a linguine sauce. I want to eat shrimp. I want to eat lobster tails. I want to eat like maybe like a seafood boil but upscale. That's what I want. Ew, bougie water. Carbonated mineral water. Hashtag not sponsored, but Perrier. Can't you see me being mad bougie with your water like this? Espérate. When you want to feel fancy and you trying to fill yourself and you trying to get effervescence from within, baby, grab yourself a little Perrier water and bless that. All right? Bless it. Hashtag Meeshe's Blessed Water. Sponsored by Perrier. Ew! Am I gonna get sponsored by a water company? Perrier, a French story since 1864. Ooh, I love it. Perrier. Oh my God, expensive. Look at this. This is how you know it's expensive. Source, Perrier, a French story since 1864. Water carbonated at the source in France. Oh my God, bougie. Bougie, bitch. This is bougie. And I could see myself going to the factory in France. Like, they invite me over to tour the factory in France, and I record it for my channel. And I meet with like one of the nephews who's the heir to the Perrier wealth. And he's like this handsome, like 37 or like 33-year-old man, very like French. And you know how like they say the French are good lovers. Oh my God. And I want him to like be enamored with me. And then I want him to take me in the back of like a little Vespa. And he's like, oh, my uncle showed you the tour of the factory, but can I give you a tour of the city? And I'm gonna be like, yes. And he's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take you on the Vespa, but when we go out to dinner, if you allow me to take you to dinner at the Silicissons, or like, I don't know, something French, like the Silicissons, or whatever, type of French word of restaurant. And I'm gonna be like, oh, wait, is this a first date and you're already asking me out on a second date? And he's like, I have to make sure you're not booked and busy because I could tell that you're gonna be it in Paris. And I'm gonna be like, ew, stop. Why are you trying to bag me before anybody else bags me? Yo, I see what you trying to do. You trying to catch me before I go on my whole face here in France. Cause you already could tell that I'm a freca, and that's what I was planning to do. I was like, all right, so peep this. They taking me on a tour in Perrier. I'm gonna see the factory, record a couple of videos, and then a bitch is gonna go back to the hotel room. I'm gonna change up. I'm gonna put a little fardita, and I'm gonna walk the streets of Paris, and I'm about to go get a freaking croissant or a French baguette, baby. And it's not the one, well, you could put it in your mouth, pero this one's going straight to the pastelito, baby. Yo soy una freca. Prepárate for my OnlyFans because that shit is going to be litty. That is going to be litty on top of that. That being said, right? So he's going to be like, all right, so yeah, I want to take you out to dinner. And I'm going to be like, ew, right? So he's going to take me on a little Vespa ride. I'm going to drive around this and a third. And I'm going to be having like a dress, right? Because, they're going to like, I'm going to have money back. I'm going to have money then when I go to like, because, they're going to dress me nice. And like the strap of my dress is going to fall down and he's going to come behind me. He's going to pull the strap up and I'm going to feel him like on here. And I'm going to be like, ooh, stop. And then I don't know that the reason why he did that was because he was trying to see what size my dress is. And then when he drops me back in the house, he's like a perfect gentleman. And I go back into the little I don't know, like house that they rent to me there while I'm in Paris, because everything is going to be all expenses paid. And then he's going to drop me off and we're going to have like this cute moment. He's going to be like, I'll pick you up at 8 tomorrow. And I'll be like, ew, how you know I didn't have nothing planned? He's like, I'm quite persistent. And I'm going to be like, ew. But he's going to have a French accent, like real sexy. And I'll be like, all right, whatever. And then I'm going to wake up in the morning to like a bouquet of roses and like some French patisseries. And then it's going to be those roses that come in a box. The ones that come in that box and they like last a long time. It's going to be those type of roses, the expensive one. And it's going to have some patisseries. And then it's going to have a box, right? Like a box from like, I don't know, something expensive like Louis Vuitton. It's going to be a couple of boxes. And it's going to be some Louis Vuitton shoes. It's going to be like a Louis Vuitton dress or like a Pucci or a YSL or something like that. And it's going to be like a Hermes bag, like a Hermes Birkin bag or a Kelly. Oh my God. And maybe like some jewelry from like Chanel or Harry Winston or something like that. Because, he probably has money. And then I, like, a total Pretty Woman moment. And then, boom, I'm getting ready. I hear a doorbell ring at 7:55, and I'm still not ready because you know me, I take my time, and I probably was going live and shit. And y'all guys were probably asking me, like, where you going? You getting real fancy. And then he's going to come to the door, and he's going to be like, and I'm going to answer it. I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're early. And he's going to be like, I'm always on time. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm going to be like, well, come in. All right, whatever. Let me finish getting ready. He's like, perfect. You're not wearing the necklace. And I'm like, no, I haven't put it on yet. My nails. It's going to be hard for me to put it on. And he's like, that's actually why I came early, because I wanted to put the necklace on for you. And I'm like, ew, stop. Stop. Why you trying to me? Stop. I'm gonna keep this WAP on lock for a little longer. Because you can't give them the WAP too soon. Because if you give them the WAP too soon and they see how wet that is, it's gonna confuse them, and they're gonna be like, I don't know, I never had a WAP like this before. Like, esto me tiene confundida. Like, I don't know. And then they're gonna be on a one-track mind. So you gotta keep them waiting. You gotta keep them with their mouth watering. So I'm like, ew, why are you trying to me? But I'm not gonna do that, right? So he goes and he puts the necklace on my neck, and I'll be like, ew. He's gonna be like, can I take this necklace off? And I'm gonna be like, no, that's my BK necklace. You can't take off my Brooklyn necklace. The only way you could take it off is if you replace it with an actual gold one. And he's like, I think we can manage that. And I'm gonna be like, ew. And he takes off the necklace and he puts it in his pocket. And I'm like, are you stealing my necklace? He's like, I think this won't be good for now. I'm pretty sure that this one will be good for now. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Let him take the necklace and he take my shit. And then we go into like this really expensive car. Like, I don't know, not like a Rolls Royce, but like a Aston Martin or like a Maserati or like, I don't know, something really expensive. And we go to this restaurant, like we go to this restaurant and we go in there and it's like very luxe, like very private luxe. And we go into like this room and we get seated by the concierge, and then the chef personally comes out. He's like, well, tonight we have a preset menu of da 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 da. It's this amount of courses. Does that sound good? Would you like the wine pairing for each course? And he's be like, of course. And can you give me a bottle of Chianti Merlot, the 1862 Reserve? Oh, good choice. Or something like that. Something real fancy and bougie. And I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't really like wine. And he's like, have you ever had champagne? And I'm like, I told myself that I wasn't gonna have champagne until the first time when I'm on a private jet. So no, I've never had champagne. And I don't intend on having champagne until I'm on a private jet. And he's gonna be like, okay, so no champagne tonight, but let me introduce you to some wine. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So that we have dinner. He's teaching me about wine. He's telling me about all his travels. He wants to know everything about me. He admits to me that he watches my YouTube because how it's going to happen is somebody in his corporate office is going to be watching me while they're supposed to be working. And they're going to be doing like a walkthrough of the corporate office. And they're going to catch one of their workers watching me and laughing. And they're going to be like, what are you watching when you're supposed to be working? And they'll be like, no, just this American girl that I find real funny, like da 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 da. And then they're going to see my video that way. And that's how they're going to find out about me. And that's how they're going to sponsor me. And that's how they're going to fly me out to Paris. And that's how I'm going to meet him. And his name is going to be Nicolas. Like Nicolas. Whatever. And that's how it's going to happen. So then he's going to tell me that that's how he found out about me. That's how, they even came into contact with me, and that he, from there, started watching my YouTube videos, and, he had a part in bringing me there and having Perrier sponsor me. Ew, why am I falling in love with him a little bit? Stop, Nikolai, stop. Why are you trying to change a bitch heart? You trying to get me in my feelings? Why are you trying to get me to like totally catch feelings for you? Ew, whatever. You just trying to me, and low key I want to you, but I'm not going to give it up too soon because I already know once you get it, you're going to be acting brand new. And I hate that. I hate that once you give them the WAP, they be acting brand new. They're like, yeah, what I wanted. And I'm like, yo, that's some kid-ish right there. So that being said, we're going to be in the restaurant. We're going to be talking. He's going to be inching closer to me so he can rub his legs on my legs. And I'm going to be like, why are you trying to pull like one of those moves where you stretch over and put your arm around my shoulder? He's gonna be like, damn, can a man flirt with you in any type of way without you trying to call them out on it? And I'm gonna be like, ew, how you talking like a New Yorker and you from France? He's gonna be like, I've been in New York for a couple of years. I traveled there often. My dad has a penthouse in Brooklyn. I'll be like, ew, what part of Brooklyn you was in? He's gonna be like, I was in like Dumbo, Brooklyn. I'm like, oh yeah, the nice part. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Like, ew, out of here. I can't even bring you to Brownsville, Nikolai. He's like, I can go anywhere. And I'm like, Nikolai, I cannot bring you to Brownsville because they will rob you and I'm gonna have to fight for you. I'm gonna have to be like, come on, that's my man. That's my man. Don't try that. I have to put on the Doc Martens real quick and like stomp some ass and take off my ears. I'll be like, Nikolai, baby, hold my earrings. He's gonna be like, what's happening? What's happening? I'll be like, they trying you. I see them eyeing you and they gonna try to rob you and I ain't gonna let that shit happen. So I'm gonna have to lay hands on them real quick. You know, something cute. So I've already talked your ear off. I've given y'all a complete little story time off the top of the dome piece. That is talent. And this is the first time I've had 214 thumbs up on a live. So thank you. And until next time, be on the lookout for the relaunch. Positive vibes only. We are growing. We are glowing. We are radiant. And we are bougie, baby. So let's sip on this Perrier and let's manifest greatness together. Ching, ching. You know what I want to do when I get my first like $1 million check from like a deal, a brand deal or something? I'm going to get a money counting machine and I'm going to cash the check into like bills. And I'm going to put it through the money machine so I could just hear the money like this. That, you know, that sound that the machine makes with the money. And then you know what I'm going to do with the money? I'm going to take the money and I'm going to throw it all over me so I can know what it feels like to be a stripper. And I'm going to twerk on the bed like this while the money is falling on me. Oh my God. Or I might have like one of my friends or have like an assistant get one of those money machine guns. And I'm going to be like, all right, so I'm going to twerk and I need you to like make it rain on me. Like rain. I want all the money to be falling on me. And then just have fun. All right. I need to get off. I got things that I got to do. I love y'all. Bendiciones. And be on the lookout for that relaunch because I'm excited. Now that I've released all of this, I hope that we can move on. I know that we will move on because I ain't giving y'all an option. And toodaloo.